Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So I actually saw that in my 5 pro tips, whatever, to actually improve at the game, someone commented, James Perigo Jr., what if you actually do some deck reviews for, your subscribers or people who watch your videos to actually submit so you can actually give your review and opinion on them? And, I was like, why not? This actually looks like a good idea. So if people are interested and you get a lot of likes on your comment, I'm definitely going to consider making it a series. And he actually got over 200 likes, which is really insane. So I was like, you know what, you might as well be the first one to do it. So he actually sent me his deck list just by writing the deck list kind of like ratio per ratio on as a comment. But if I see that this video actually gets, a decent amount of recognition, well, I'm going to definitely make it a series and probably find a way to make this a bit more legit, like actually have a Discord server where people can actually send me the YDK file or maybe send me the DB file, because regardless of if I do it on DB or EDO Pro, whatever, it honestly doesn't change anything to me. So if you have any kind of feedback or suggestions or anything, please let me know in the comment section below. And of course, before you start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And let's get into it. So his deck list was really nice. It was a 45 card deck, Eldlich Invoked with some spice. Statue of Anguish pattern and Angel Statue as a rune. Not a lot of people actually necessarily know what they do. Well, I think Angel Statue a bit more, but Statue of Anguish pattern not everybody knows, but it's actually a really, really nice card in Eldlich, and it was a card that I personally played in my actual legit Eldlich deck. So it's really nice to see that he actually included it in his deck, and let's actually try to see what he had in his ratio. So Dark Magician and Red Eyes, because he was actually playing triple Red Eyes Fusion, but no Insight, that's the thing, so no Red Eyes Wyvern either. Sideframe Driver because of Gamma, so kind of like 3 cards that you don't really like, but it's okay. You gotta, if you play them, it means that you have some really powerful cards in your deck. And then 2 Eldlich the Golden Lord, which I like this ratio. I think 2 is 100% correct. Triple Alistair, triple Gamma, triple Red Eyes Fusion. I'm going to kind of come back to this later on if I actually agree with triple Red Eyes Fusion or not. Then 1 Black Awakening, double Invocation, triple Disparity. I like this because Extravagance would clash in the deck, as you can't really afford to banish random cards. You play Dragoon that you really need, and you also play Merkaba and Ogoides and stuff like that you kind of really need. So some specific one-ofs in the extra deck are kind of needed, and it would be kind of clunky to play them all at 3 and then play Extravagance. I'm not a really big fan, so what he did with the Disparity definitely makes a lot of sense. 2 White Destiny, which I think is interesting. I mean, it's such a good card against Called by the Grave and stuff, but it's not that great outside of that, so I feel like 2 White Destiny was a bit too much. But still, apart from that, 1 Black Awakening is actually perfect. I really like Black Awakening. I think it should be a one-of in most Eldlich decks, at least, because it gives you another Elixir card that you can actually set with your other Golden Land traps. So instead of only setting the Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine during the end phase, you actually have 2 options. But the White Destiny, it's not necessarily needed. You can actually live without him. Anyways, 3 Crystalline, I mean, that's kind of a given. Now, this is also really spicy. 7 Cities of the Golden Land. This is like a searchable polymerization that's a continuous spell, and also when you fuse, you can actually kind of, I don't know if you actually know the Fire Affirmation that actually seals a back row until the end of the turn. Your opponent can't use it. It's kind of similar to that, but it doesn't destroy the back row, which kind of sucks a little. It's not the end of the world, obviously, but it would have been nice if it actually did. And of course, Eldlich, the Mad Golden Lord, is honestly a pretty respectable card. I actually only considered playing this as a super poly target initially, so I don't think the most competitively viable way to play this deck is with the Eldlich, the Mad Golden Lord. I think this is kind of just more like experimental. You should actually, I recommend you to test with this card, and if you like it, well, good arguments to use against me, which I kind of dislike because just on paper, it doesn't look that great, since it's not a starter card. It sits there usually in your hand for a long time, and you kind of want to max out on the cards that gets you started, self-sufficiently speaking. You don't really want to play a lot of cards that depend on other cards and stuff like that, so yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this, to be honest. Then triple Meltdown obviously makes sense, triple Scarlet, triple Conquistador, double Statue of Anguish pattern. I want to say this card is so incredibly good, you should actually play 3, because Statue of Anguish pattern doesn't suffer from the hard once per turn syndrome whatsoever. As a matter of fact, nothing about the card is once per turn. Absolutely nothing about it is once per turn. You can use this card, you can activate it and special summon it infinite times per turn, and you can actually pop infinite times per turn. So as long as you have more traps to summon, you're pretty much golden. Get it? Yeah. That was so bad. Golden Land. Yeah, no, okay, yeah. You're probably not that dumb. But Statue of Anguish pattern is just really nice for multiple reasons. First of all, it can't be targeted by your opponent card effects, while you can actually control another trap monster. And every single time a trap monster is summoned, you actually get to pop a card on the field. So even if you just draw 2 Statue of Anguish pattern, that's already a pop against your opponent. And then if you have like another trap, like even a Haquero that is dead because you don't even have the Eldlich access, well, you get 2 pops. So that's kind of nice every single time. And then, man, it's crazy. You can actually get so many pops because of that. So I would technically max out on Statue of Anguish pattern. Angel Statue as a rune is an interesting one because it is also not a once per turn, but actually it's kind of a soft once per turn, if we can actually put it that way. So if you draw multiple statues, it's still good. It doesn't clog whatsoever, but you can't use the same Solemn Warning-esque effect with the exact same angel statue multiple times. It just wouldn't work. You need like different statues. So it's yeah, that's why I said it's a soft and not a hard once per turn, but still a really fantastic card. I think 2 as a ratio is perfect for that one, and I would bump up the Statue of Anguish pattern to 3, but don't worry because I'm actually going to show you my actual, I guess I want to say improved, not really improved, just my take on the deck. There's no such thing as improving somewhat. I mean, I guess, but not really. You know, maybe this guy has actually more experience than me with the deck, so yeah, shoutouts to you again, James, by the way. Anyways, triple Haquero, yeah, I mean, I like triple Haquero. I don't really know why people ever play 2, because I don't know, I think it's a really good card. I mean, sure, when Eldlich was initially kind of released, it was during like a pseudo FTK format where not really, but Adamantipator was like on crack. So you couldn't actually play something like Haquero, which didn't do that much, you know. If you went first, you needed like actual legit negates, and if you went second, you couldn't actually clog on useless cards. So I definitely get why people play 2, but as you know, as the format becomes progressively slower, this is probably just going to stabilize as a 3 of in honestly every Eldlich deck out there. So if you have Eldlich, instead of ordering 2 Haquero, if you don't have Eldlich and you want to buy the deck, instead of actually just buying 2, buy 3 just in case. There was a time where Cursed Eldland was worth absolutely nothing, and now it's worth like a ridiculous amount of money. So when someone told me like, oh yeah, this deck is not budget anymore, I was like, wait, what? This deck was so cheap before. Only Eldlich the Golden Lord was expensive, and it got like its reprint announced like so quickly. But yeah, anyways, and Triple Solemn Strike, again, I love this card. I think everybody should play Strike in Eldlich in every single trap deck. So I agree with the majority of what I saw here, which is nice. Anyways, the extra deck, Eldlich the Golden Lord, of course, because of the 7 cities, double Merkaba, of course you play Alistair, with a Goides as well, Dragoon, and he's also playing Anaconda. Omega, yes, because of the Gamma that actually can summon on your turn. Now, there is one thing that I should actually note, that Omega can actually be synchro summoned using your engine if you have a level 5 trap monster, and then you can go Eldlich, Scarlet Sanguine to special summon Ash from your deck or graveyard, and then, well, during your opponent's turn, and then on your turn you synchro for Omega, which is nice because all of your cards, like the trap cards that banish themselves, they always come back to your graveyard, and then you loop a card, well, you remove a card from your opponent's hand. So Omega is actually a lot of pressure in this deck, kind of like how it's really good in Zombies, because you get back from Mizuki and you make your opponent lose his card, so it's not just a hand loop card, you know. And then Nova, because you can summon Merkaba if your opponent uses Dragma Maximus to send cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. Kind of shocked that he's not playing Elder Entity Entis, but I definitely do understand because the extra deck space is quite tight. Now, Blackluster Soldier of Chaos actually played this card too in my Eldlich deck, so again, I'm really glad he's playing it as well. Unicorn, I think Unicorn comes up a little bit less than Phoenix. Phoenix, I definitely agree. Cerberus, I don't know. There's not much to Cerberus outside of like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, I feel like. And even then, they're probably gonna have Misk because they always have Misk. And by the way, have you heard Misk? Anyways, Masquerena, yeah, the Masquerena, I wasn't a big fan because you kind of have to commit a lot of monsters. But the thing is, since he is playing the Alistair package, all of a sudden, you always have like a surplus monster that you don't really need, because the Alistair, whether it's in the field or in the graveyard, it has the same value when you're using it as a fusion material, so it's okay to link it off with Masquerena. So at the end of the day, the commitment isn't that much. But if you just pass turn with Masquerena and then you're actually summoning Eldlich, just like the Golden Lord from your deck with with Scarlet, remember that it does lock you under zombie only, so this Masquerena unfortunately won't be able to summon that unicorn during the opponent's turn if you don't have any other trap monster already at your disposal, like Aquero, statue, all the statues, and then Conquistador. So I guess there's that. Anaconda, of course, that's a given. Link Spider, I think should actually be the Imduk instead. Imduk actually has an effect. Link Spider. By the way, I understand the usage for these cards. It's just if you can actually summon. Actually, you know what? Well, there's technically a purpose to Link Spider as well if you get Nibiru'd, but I don't think you're really gonna get Nibiru'd because the only way you can summon is with Alistair, but even then that's like 3 summons, and your third summon is like a negate, so yeah, never mind. Yeah, I don't think Link Spider is any better than Imduk. It's kind of, yeah, Imduk is almost like a relinquished Anima in a way. Anyways, there's also Magistus Artemis, which obviously makes sense because of the Alistair. Now let's get into the side deck. I don't have much to explain, but still, the Sphere mode, now the funny thing about this is that it actually takes your normal summon, and Red Eyes Fusion, it's not that it takes your normal summon, but it stops you from normal summoning, and then Alistair takes up your normal summon, so there is a bit of clashing because you're going to have a really good normal summon that you kind of always want to have access to. You play 6, and then the Red Eyes Fusion, so I don't know, it kind of looked like a lot. I mean, the Sphere mode is just such a good card that I understand why you're citing it. It's just, we might actually have to do a bit of work in order to optimize siding for game 2 and 3. That's just the only thing I have to do. And maybe work on the ratios just a very tiny little bit. But you're going to, like I said, see my updated version very, very soon. And then Joel and Logbird, great card. It destroys a lot of decks. Forbidden Drop, I mean, it's just a really good card in trap decks, to be honest. Especially when you play stuff like Needle Sealing. But he doesn't play Needle Sealing whatsoever in his deck. The thing is, I think from the completely competitive standpoint, the most optimal way to play Eldlich is like super trap heavy. I don't think Alistair is the best way to go. I think the best way would probably be Red Eyes Fusion, Insight, and maybe 60 card with like very small Shadow package. Alistair, I'm not a big fan because I don't think it's too unfair, and it makes you play a lot of just not really, I don't know, unpleasant ratios in a way, because you can just draw a hand with like too many Alistairs or a hand with like Invocation but no Alistairs, and it happens to me like a lot, so oh man, but it's still a good card, I guess. So yeah, if you're going second, it's just not ideal. You really want to see a lot of trap cards, I feel like. But yeah, anyways, Evenly, great card. I mean, why not? The Duster kind of should be there, no? Not necessarily. Yeah, Evenly's good. Yeah, I think this is definitely respectable. And then 3 Solemn Judgment. Now, this actually could have been a lot of things. It could have been Anti-Spell Fragrance, Imperial Order, not Imperial Iron Wall because your trap cards get banished, but anything that actually counters Harpies, Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, and Evenly in case you are going first. So I guess there's that, because Solemn Judgment honestly isn't really negating your opponent's engine, it's really just countering their side deck. So I like the fact that he actually included Solemn Judgment in his side and not in his main. I think in the main deck it would have made absolutely no sense, but yeah, that's basically it for James' deck list. Now let's actually try to see what kind of changes I brought to the deck. Alright, so I'm back. Basically, we didn't really change that much. I guess it kind of went from a 45 to a 40 card deck, and I wanted to squeeze in 3 Ash. So I actually cut a few cards, but not that much, like I said. So I'm still playing the 3 not really good vanilla monsters. Wait, what? The Ultimate Wizards in terms of attack and defense, Ferocious Dragon with a deadly attack, and a Psychic Soldier that rides into battle against the security forces. Hey, security force support! No, I'm just kidding. On current, blah blah, yeah, whatever, I don't care. Anyways, to Eldlich, blah, everything here is the exact same, except from, I actually cut Red Eyes Fusion down from 3 to 1, because of the fact that if you actually draw Red Eyes Fusion, it's kind of more of like a card that I feel like you want to send with Anaconda, since your prime normal summon usage will be on Alistair. So if you have Alistair plus an extender, well, your Red Eyes Fusion should actually be in your deck so you can actually pitch it, but if you draw Red Eyes Fusion, you don't want to draw it in conjunction, so it's actually going to be used, and I feel like this is the best way to minimize just bad luck, I guess you can say. I don't really know, but yeah, I feel like I did the right thing with only playing 1 Red Eyes Fusion, or what I simply would do would just cut the Magical Meltdown, cut the Alistairs, and then max out on 3, and Red Eyes Wyvern, and 3 Red Eyes Inside, but like I said, I already said that, so yeah. Anyways, White Fate is now from a 2 of to a 1 of. I think it's still a decent card, it's pretty respectable, but I don't think it should necessarily be... yeah, I think more than one is just way too much. As a matter of fact, I think I'm actually going to cut the 1 of White Destiny and play a third Haquero. I actually kind of forgot that I even cut the Haquero down from 3 to 2, but it was just because I wanted to make it look pretty at 44. So it's actually like super perfectly symmetrical, lined up on 4 rows, but obviously that's a biased and incorrect way to deck build. So yeah, I mean, besides, it ends up being the same. I can just, I don't know, yeah, I don't know why I care too much about the aesthetics. Obviously, yeah, no, this should probably be either a third Haquero or maybe a third Angel Statue as a Rune. But at the same time, Angel Statue is not great going second, whereas Statue of Anguish Pattern is actually good because it has a proactive popping effect, whereas this only negates further summons from your opponent. So yeah, I would probably cut this and try to see what we can do with that. And then 3 Crystal, then 3 Meltdown, 3 Scarlet, whatever. Nothing here changed, except that I actually bumped Statue of Anguish Pattern from 2 to 3. I just think it's too good, man. I really do think it's needed because it's like you can draw 3, man. You can draw 3 and it's good. It actually pops a lot of cards. So yeah, no, I definitely think everybody should be playing 3 Statue of Anguish Pattern. Once the deck gets heavily crippled, it's going to be the go-to option. Basically, Eldlich, even with only 1 Eldlich the Golden Lord, or with, okay, no, not with 0 Eldlich, but with like 1 Eldlich the Golden Lord, you can still play the deck, don't worry. Anyways, now we have, from the extra deck, I added Purgatrio because I'm actually playing Ash now, so it actually gives a bit more flexibility to your Alistair. And I also added Chaos Ruler Demonic Dragon because milling 5 cards here, pretty nice, and you can actually add 1 Light or Dark as well. So if you actually activate Red Eyes Black Dragon or Dark Magician, in order to prevent them from getting milled, you can actually add them from your hand, and then you can actually successfully go into Anaconda. So it's nice, and yeah, no, I just really like the fact that it also special summons itself, so they also have value when they hit the grave. So yeah, really good card. I didn't change anything there. Lambda is actually a new addition because you're also playing Gamma, and it's relatively easy to have 2 monsters on your field when you're playing Alistair package, and also Imduk instead of Link Spider, and nothing else. So that's basically it, man, for this deck review. I really hope you guys enjoyed this this prototype episode. So if you have any feedback or suggestion, or anything, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.